What's going on, guys? Welcome to the first episode of Mobile King of the Hill, and today we have a night series between Jim, say no to Bloons, who is the Knight and Random Towers, or Boyan, who is the Challenger. So this is the first video on the Mobile King of the Hill, and I am AsianSensation here, commentating between these two. This will be a very competitive game and competitive series, and I'm looking forward to see how they adjust to the new system, since there are no spikes allowed anymore, so that will really affect the gameplay on certain maps that are usually no lives lost, but you will have to kind of adjust to it to see how to kind of just stay above in lives. So anyways, starting map is now A game. It's merely impossible to go no lives lost on this without spikes, so not many players really care about lives too much, and Jim's being a little greedy here. We are from Jim's perspective, since he is the one that recorded this, so I haven't seen any of the footage, so I'm just looking forward to an exciting series. And yeah, so both players starting out with the dart monkey in the usual spot, basically exact same strat right now, and Boyan actually hits the energy to defend these pinks. And what I like to do is I like to get a farm up, and then right as I put down my farm, I use my energy to get that extra banana, which I like to do, and gives you a slight advantage in farm eco, but nothing too visible. Anyways, Jim looks like he's slightly ahead in farm eco, got that third 0-0, and he is down in lives, but again, I don't think it's a huge factor this early on, but never know. And both players have two 0-3 dart monkeys where most people usually put it, and Jim's going for his fourth farm, while Boyan's still stuck with 3 at the moment, maybe, and he does get up to plantation to equal the farm eco, because one plantation is about equivalent to 2 1-0 farms. And Jim is actually going for 5 1-0s before getting up to 2-0. Don't know if I like that, because I usually like to get 3 plantations before getting any more farms. In most cases, sometimes you do have to be forced to get up a 1-0, another 1-0, just because you only have $1,300. But anyways, Boyan looks like he's going for some regal whites. Not really sure why. I guess that did force Jim to get up a 0-3, but I don't think that was really worth it, because he didn't really mix any yellows in there as well. But it looks like they both have their juggernauts ready to be upgraded. Well, that 0-0 to be upgraded. And Jim trying to get Boyan to hit that energy, and it looks like he's going to leak here. So Jim will take a huge advantage in lives right there. Looked like he lost more than 31 lives. But anyways, farm eco looks about Boyan is ahead by 1-0, and he is getting up that ace to defend any rush Jim would go for. If it was a massive rush, obviously he would sell farms, but it looks like Boyan is going for a small region zebra rush. If the rush isn't that big and it's not balloon boosted, all you need is 1 jug on top and then about 4 0-3 trip darts, or 2-3. Just that will defend it, as long as the rush isn't above around like $1,500, $2,000. And now Boyan still being kind of aggressive. I think he's just trying to get those 2 lives on Jim, and yeah, now Jim is behind in lives, but I think these regrow lights will make Boyan leak for sure, unless he uses energy right now, because now the AI is going to leak if he does use energy anyways. And yeah, right there he leaks 0 lives. Okay, there we go, 4 lives. And now it's tied in lives, and farm eco is tied as well. And Jim balloon boost goes for a zebra rush against those 2 juggernauts. That's not going to be enough, and he does get up to 0-3 to defend no lives lost. So good rush on Jim's side and a good defend on Boyan's side. I don't think anyone really got ahead in that, because and now the AI is very, very difficult on this map. You need to get some chippers at the beginning of the map on strong to help you out, and there Jim goes for the first chipper. showing his chipper. Boyan must have went ace, or he does have, oh no, he has ace and chipper, the deadliest combo in the game. So if Boyan is up on lives late game, Jim is basically screwed, because those combo, if you know how to do it, it's really easy. All you just need to do is stall on ground zero. But it looks like Boyan is being pretty aggressive, goes for some camel ceramics and a Moab. Very expensive rush, about like $3,300 rush right there. So this will allow Jim to get way up in farm eco, and I think Jim has this game in the bag as long as he doesn't die to AI like it looks like he is. Also, I would think I always put my front Juggernaut on strong, and that really helps get rid of the rainbows and stuff. And it's just, I like to have one on strong, sometimes even two on that top part of the map. I think it's much better popping power. It's pretty easy to tell, but yeah, Jim is way up in farm eco. He's got his 4-0 right when Boyan got his 3-0, I believe, and Boyan should be able to defend this Moab just fine without any energy with those chippers up. And the live advantage is to Boyan, but normally he would win this game right now if he had the equivalence in farm eco, but he's way behind in farms, and Jim exploits that, goes for 3 BFBs. This will force him, Boyan, to sell like all his farms, so I think that's going to be a GG probably. Well, let's see, and he does have enough for a ground zero. I would want for a fan club and then the ground zero, but he decides to double ground zero it. Not as cost efficient, but it does work. But again, the farm eco is just ridiculously uneven right now. Boyan will be able to afford that 4-0, but now that Jim's harassing him with Moabs, he's not going to be able to focus on farming. He's going to have to focus on defense, and that's going to allow Jim to just continually increase his farm eco as long as he rushes smart and doesn't die to AI. Then I think Jim will be just fine. And I think night series are best of 5, if I am correct. I might be wrong, but I think this is a best of 5 series, so we will possibly see 5 games of gameplay. And Boyan does go for the SMFC this time instead of going for the ground zero, wisely, because it's only 1 BFB. Can easily be taken down by a fan club. And Jim, it looks like the camels are getting kind of far. You should probably get some more camel detection up, I would think. And Jim's still harassing him. Honestly, I probably wouldn't have been this aggressive. Even though Jim was up in farm eco, he could have gotten a much higher lead in eco if he didn't rush. But this looks like Boyan's end, maybe. But it does look like he defends. So he defends that, no lives lost, and still has a live advantage. Well, actually keeping up with Jim in farms, because Jim is just being extremely aggressive. And Boyan's showing his first rush in a while, and that is a BFB, and this will force Jim to get up a Super Monkey fan club. And if I were Jim, I would sell his Juggernauts to get up the fan club. Instead, he actually sells his farm. He could have sold his Juggernauts and kept that farm up, but decides to sell his farm, and it looks like Boyan, on the other hand, is getting destroyed by these region Bloons, but he does survive. No lives lost again. It's a little bit laggy right now, but the farm eco, Jim, again, is still in front. It's been in front for this entire game. But around 27, Moabs are going to be coming out, so I don't know how Boyan's going to defend that. He's going to have to sell his farm. Yeah, so Boyan didn't really plan that out very well, either did Jim. They both had to use energy, and Boyan actually sold his farm, and I think that's the end right there. Looked like the ceramic might have leaked through, and Jim having lots of struggling, but does successfully defend barely. So Boyan, he needs to get more Dart Monkeys down on the lower end of the map to defend the Bloons coming around this end, because he wants his Dart Monkeys to hit him around here, not at the very end like these ones. So other than that, I mean, yeah, it looks like Boyan dies to AI. So let's go ahead and go into the second game, and let's see what map he chooses. So Boyan chooses Ink Blot. There's two really basic strats people use: the sub dart farm, and then the sub farm ninja. I've seen both be pretty successful, and Fang Bang actually doesn't use either of those. He goes sub farm tack. It's interesting, I know, but it seems to work for him, except for round 22-ish, but he said he usually doesn't go that late. Anyways, going in the game, same exact tactics at the moment. They will be the same until about round 13-ish. Round 10-ish, actually, Leads will kind of see how they get up their defense. But Jim actually uses energy. I probably want to use energy, but I guess it doesn't really matter. But, because lives aren't a big factor on this map. Anyways, but Farm Eco, Jim, Boyan, tied, 2-1-0s. And they're both going to get up a 0-0 sub to upgrade to 0-2 instead of getting that up to 1-2, just because it's more cost efficient and just as equal in popping power. So it looks like they're both going to get it up about now, I would say. And if Boyan doesn't, Jim will just send one set of pinks, and I guarantee Boyan will get up the 0-2. So Jim sent pinks. That's what I would do, at least, to get him to upgrade to Airburst. But he allows Boyan to get up in Farm Eco just slightly, but not a lot. So yeah, he'll send Blacks, I'd assume. And Boyan not grabbing his bananas, so it looks like the game's pretty laggy, and the round is stuck at 5. So Jim disconnects and goes back in, and this should solve the issue, and it does. Game is restarting up, and there we go. So yeah, Boyan is ahead by about $200 in Farm Eco, and the round just went really fast right there. I don't know what happened, but Boyan go from some greens. As long as he doesn't heavily rush with greens, Jim's can have no problem defending that whatsoever. But he is showing his dart, so Boyan knows he has dart, not ninja. Likely not ninja as his fourth. And Boyan shows his dart too. So they both went sub-farm dart. That is probably what's happening. And region whites aren't going to do anything against the air starts. And Jim defends that no problem. So this will allow him to catch up a little on Farm Eco. But leads on round 10 can be very dangerous on this map. Especially if you go ninja. It's very hard to get up a 4-0. But sometimes people just go for the 0-3 sub instead, just because it's more cost efficient. And then sell that later to get a 4-0. But Farm Eco same, and their defense same about, and Boyan shows tack, so we know all 4 of Boyan's towers, and I think he's showing that just to show Jim not to rush him because he has tack. And Jim actually died to that Zebra Rush. I would have microed my Juggernaut to first on that rush, and he probably would have successfully defended if he did that, or if he just upgraded that second dart or that second sub to 0-2. But anyways, 1-1 in the night series right now, and very intense games. So now we got Plutonium Mines. This is the map Jim chose, but it doesn't look like he can invite him because of the stupid new update with the multiple private match issues they have in that. Anyways, their Dart Monkey spots are different. I think they both work just fine. I don't really think there's an ideal Dart Monkey spot on this map, but I mean, yeah, it doesn't really matter. Jim's actually going for that before getting up the second farm, allowing Boyan to get up while they are still both no lives lost. So looks like Jim's getting ready to get up his round 4 pink defense, gets up that 0-0 at the start of the sent balloon path, and Boyan puts his in the same spot. Interesting, I usually don't put mine there. I usually put one around here, and then I put them on last, and it shoots in that straight line to get those pink layers off. But yeah, Jim's got to clean up Dart Monkey up top, take off those few balloons that might straggle through. And yeah, so Jim is slightly ahead in Farm Eco. Now it's back to even, and Boyan is still no lives lost while Jim is trying to be aggressive and get some lives on him. And right now, Jim actually went ace on this. I think that's to help out with secondary rushes, but late game, it is much harder to defend with ace than it is with chipper. So You will have to work harder if it goes late game. But, I mean, Ace does allow you to defend more easily early game, but Chipper allows you to defend easier late game. So it depends on how you defend, really, whether to go Ace or Chipper. I usually go Chipper, but sometimes I'll mix it up and go Ace, but not show my Ace until around round 22, and then they know not to like BFB rush you. I don't know, but yeah. So regrows on this map are extremely overpowered because usually people put all their towers around this area to defend kind of this first little stretch, but then all of the balloons will regrow across this entire path all the way over until here, until your towers can hit them. And by then they're usually back up to full strength, and the balloons just multiply like crazy, and it's very difficult to defend. So I put like a jug down here, a jug here, and then another jug just anywhere around to kind of have popping power on every aspect of the map. Put some 0-3s down here, and it's just easier to defend regions because regions are very OP on this map. And going for a massive Regal Rainbow Rush, wasn't really expecting that, but then again, Jim's Ace does help him a lot right there, and that's GBG basically, because he's down on farms. But Boyan is going for some region leads. Again, region's very good, but Jim has that 0-3, so they're not going to do much at all, I think. But they do look like they're getting pretty far, getting to the end of the map, and Jim is forced to use energy to stay alive and lives. But with an easy counter rush, I think that will do it, and Boyan is going to die right here, I'd assume. Even though he used energy, Jim still has lots of money to go for a secondary rush. And honestly, if I were Boyan, instead of getting up all those 0-3s, I would go for a 0-3 ace. But he tries to all-out counter, and Jim easily defends, and that's going to be another GG. So now Jim is up 2-1 in the United Series. It's best of 3, so we go into the fourth game, and the map is Offside. Offside's a great map. I actually really enjoy this map. One of my favorites, but Jim is going Chipper here, but he has probably the best possible fourth tower he could get is Tack Shooter to help out with those secondary rushes and just those zebra rushes in general. He can just get up a Ring of Fire or even just a Blade Maelstrom to defend. And they both... Oh, Boyan has a different Dart Monkey spot. I prefer Jim's way more because on round 4, when you get up that to 0-3, you put it on last, and it shoots in a straight line, which is much, much better popping power because all you need is like a 0-0 here and you'll barely leak. Whereas if you have this one to 0-3 and then have another Dart Monkey, you're going to lose a lot more lives because this Dart Monkey will be chasing, and it's just not good. So you want to have your Dart Monkey in this location primarily. But yeah. Anyways, nothing's really going on here. It's just like every early game, players just getting up in farm eco and going for a few pinks every now and then. Jim should put his Dart Monkey on last now, I would assume. And he actually keeps it on first. Interesting. So Jim lost 16 lives right there. Lives don't really matter too much in this game as long as you know how to rush on this map. I mean, because round 13 through 15 is really deadly on this map. Second, you'd want to try to avoid using your energy from rounds 10 to 12 because round 13 zebras can be very OP. And Jim and Boyan tied in farm eco. Nothing I can really say that's going on. I mean, I guess it looks like Boyan's about $150 ahead in farm eco right now, but that will probably be staying the same throughout this game. Offside, it usually doesn't go late game. It will, but not very often. And Jim should get up his 5th farm since he had, okay, he had enough to get up a 1-0, but he decides to wait and get up his 2-0, it looks like. And the only thing that would really, yeah, I was going to say, if he went for some group Bloons, then it could probably do some damage to his defense. So it looks like Boyan is going to be a little aggressive here. Try to get Jim down on lives since he has the advantage. And Jim is getting up a Dart Monkey look in the Juggernaut location, just to make it easier to micro, I assume. And if I were Jim, I would go for some greens followed by some yellows. That would most likely get Boyan to use his energy, which could set up for a great round 10, or even some region whites on round 11 would be very good as well. And farm eco, it looks like Boyan's slightly ahead now. Actually no, it's even. It's exactly even now. Jim's going for a region white, followed by pinks. That'll actually do a decent amount of damage. And Boyan's going to have to use his energy here if he wants to defend that. And he does use his energy and is down to 62 lives. And Jim just let a region light go by, no big deal. He's still got a big advantage in lives by 51, 53, I don't even know the math right now. Oh well, 38, yeah, 51, 49. Anyways, Jim has his, this thing was going over here, so I don't know what happened there, but Jim lost to that simple round 13 rush, and now it's 2-2. This is the deciding game right here, and the map is Park. Nobody ever picks Park. I've played one King of the Hill map on this, one on King of the Hill game on this map, and nobody picks it. It's such a bad designed map, I guess. I don't know, I just hate it. And Jim didn't even upgrade his farm. I don't know what he was doing there, so he's gonna get one less banana than Boyan right here, but shouldn't be too big of a deciding factor because it is early game, not a big deal. And Jim got ice as his 4th tower. That's pretty good. It's great for those grouped BFB rushes because you can slow down the BFBs and to half speed. It's pretty unreal. But the Moab class balloons have to be on the screen for the ability to work. It's not a timed ability like the ninja, where if you use it and then they send balloons, they will still be slow. Like, they have to be on the screen and then it will freeze them. Just kind of makes sense. But Jim's down on lives. You really want to be up in lives on this map because it's pretty easy to defend late game, especially because you can fit lots of farms on this map. And Jim has interesting farming locations. I wouldn't prefer that because you can't really see the bananas that come out right here. I prefer putting like 2 right here, 2 right here, and then 1 right here. But I guess whatever works for him is good. And Jim is way ahead in farms now, but that's just because Boyan is trying to defend no lives lost, which is smart because that will set him up good for late game. But this will also allow Jim to set himself up good for late game to defend, or to go for those rushes to slowly take away Boyan's farming eco by rushing. So Boyan sending some Rego whites again. This forces Jim to get up another 0-3. And Jim's looking like he has one of his juggernaut spots shown right now. And he sells to get this farm up. So he has the equivalence of 3.5 plantations. Boyan has 2.5. So he's up about 7 bananas, if I did my math right. So, oh, these region leads are going to do lots of damage to Jim here. He's going to have to get up another 0-3, and he's going to leak a lot. And he uses energy. You don't want to use your energy on this map just because Juggernauts aren't unreal. Really. So, yeah, Jim's getting ready to get up a bunch of stuff. He's going to need to get a lot of Juggernauts up if he wants to defend this. And he gets up, he has 3 Juggernauts, and he's going to die. So, Jim dies there to another round 13 rush. So Jim is, oh, it must be best of 7. I'm sorry. It is best of 7. I was not aware of that. That is shocking. It is best of 7. Okay. So night series are best of 7, not best of 5. Learn something new every day. Boyan is up 3-2, and Jim is choosing Water Hazard. And he's not going sub, he's going dart. That is very interesting. Mostly everyone I know on this map goes sub, farm, ninja. That's like the most common strat. I think it's very good because you can defend late game with those towers. Plus you usually get a decent 4th tower more times than not. And yeah, Boyan's going with the sub strat. That's exactly what I do. I like going the sub. It's easier to nullalize loss than dart just because darts aren't unreal here because of the paths that it takes. It's just not good. And Jim is up in farm eco. Actually, no, it's about even because those towers are about the same price. But like round 6 through 13 is going to be harder for Jim to defend than Boyan because this sub is just OP. Airburst Dart is so OP. And he uses energy, and now looks like he's getting up his 0-2, which will set him up for until round 10 or so, while Jim will have to get up about 3 Dar Monkeys. So I personally think it's much better to go sub on this map because for round 13, all you need is like a reactor and then 1 Airburst up here to defend mostly anything, unless it's an all-out Regal Rainbow. Then you will see them solo their farms, and you can react and get up a few more submarines around there, and you'll be able to defend. So I think defending with sub on this map is pretty easy until you get to the late game. Obviously the Zoom Gs get stronger and stuff, and that's when the ninja really plays into the game. Anyways, farms, same. Lives, Jim is down, probably because he didn't go submarine. I think that's why. But he might be able to get up in farm eco, I think, just because he doesn't need to get up a reactor. He can just get up 1 jug and then 1 like 3-0, and then just can quickly upgrade that. So it looks like he's going to one of his juggernaut spots, which is appearing to be right there. And Boyan's already getting up his 2-0. I personally would not do that. He could have upgraded his farm because an Airburst right where his is can defend round 8 pretty handily, unless it's a massive Bloon boosted Yellow Rush, obviously, but that's highly unlikely. And this allowed Jim to get way up in farm eco. Jim is ahead by like 8 bananas right now, just because Boyan got up that nuclear reactor, or the submergent support, which was a big mistake on his part because that allows Jim to get up way up in farm eco, and it's not good. So Jim way down in the lives now, down 46, and he's selling. Why is he selling? He's going for an all-out rush. He's going for a massive rush. Regen Rainbow, like I said, so Boyan just needs to get up a few more 0-2s and he'll be able to defend. And he went for another reactor. I don't know why he went for that, but yeah, not great play on Boyan's side. And 3-3 now. So GG, I guess that's the end of the video. Jim is the winner, so yay Jim. Thanks for watching. I'm your host, AsianSensation, and my channel will be in the description if you want to go check me out. That'd be awesome, and I'm out.